Right. So we have seen so many elements of the movement, and we did a wonderful planning yesterday, right? The Siliguri, the movement Siliguri. We were trying to envision and how it is going to be, and so many things. We'll see some basic elements of any movement for that matter, and we'll see which is very important in all these things. See, whenever we talk about a movement, I hope you remember I said there are three important things which is really matters. One is, why are we doing this, right? Why am I doing this? Why are we together? Number two is, what are we doing this? And number three, how are we doing this, right? Yeah, hit the record. Yeah. And also along with that, the fourth important element is, with whom am I doing this? Who, right? So if you see, why am I doing this? It is the purpose, right? The purpose. Why am I doing this? So why movement Siliguri exists? It is to glorify God. It is to bring gospel to everyone in the city. It is to transform the city, just like how we were discussing a minute earlier. Then I'm going to talk about how am I doing this is the process which we expressed yesterday, and we came up with the idea of what are we going to do next, what is our next step, what is my part in it, how am I going to be engaged in it, and all those things. And the third is, who are we working with, right? So the people part of it. So who is the people, right? And that is the purpose, process, and people, right? And what is the product? Of course, we can call that is the end result. I'm just going to call it as impact, right? Now, what is the most important element of these four? In anything that, sorry, brother? Impact, okay. Now, what is the most important thing you feel among these four? People, yeah. I would also go with people, because the very reason we exist as human being is to bless one another. If you remember, the first commandment given by God to Abraham, or the first promise, we always take it as a promise, but I also see a lot of commands in it. The commandment is in when God came to Abraham and said, I'm going to bless you, and through you, you'll be blessing others. So even if you talk about the purpose, it is going to be on the people, right? So that is the very reason why God chose Israel. Because when he spoke to Jacob again, he spoke to Isaac the same, he spoke to Jacob the same. He said, okay, I'm going to make you a big nation, not because you can live happily, not because that you can have all the wellness in the world, wealth in the world, but through you, I'm going to bless others. But unfortunately, Israel were not able to do it. They were expecting all the blessings for themselves. That's where they failed, right? That's why Jesus had to come and had to do a different course correction in the plan of Israel. And he chose all of us to be Israel now. Again, why he chose us? To bless others. Why he gave me what I have, the resources, the people, the work that I have, the ministry that I have. Why he give it to me? Because through it, I need to bless others. And very typically, we also can take the movement. Also, movement Siliguri is not for a set of people to come and enjoy, have fun, and talk about something. It is through us, how are we going to bless the entire city, right? So what matters is the people. So relationship matters a lot. So when I'm talking about relationship, the entire movement is a relational movement. It's called snowball movement. You might have heard the snowball movements. So say if you take a small piece of snowball on the top of the mountain, snow-covered mountain, and if you roll it from there, it will roll, come down. The small ball will become bigger, and when it comes to the bottom, it will become an avalanche. Right? And that is the kind of effect that we can make, the ripple effect that we can make when we relationally connect with people. It is not about going into somebody and tell that, hey, I'm having a huge vision of transforming the city. More than that, it is about how we are ready to invest our lives in somebody else's life. The small investment that we made. Brother George was telling yesterday that in our lifetime, at least if we invest in one person's life, right? That's that discipleship. So maybe we don't have to stop with one, but at least it's mandatory that we need to at least invest in one. So the investment matters. In the parable of talents, that's what the owner of the three servants asked when the last guy came. That, God, I know that you are a really tough guy, so you gave me one talent, I just buried it. He said, why don't you just put it in the bank? At least that will fetch you interest, right? God wants us to invest in others, not just keep the blessings what we have, or not just keep the resources what He has given to us, but everything that He has given is to invest in others. And relationship matters a lot. The entire movement is all about building relationship and keeping it relational throughout the end, right? So that is something that we can always ponder on. And now what are you going to tell us is, as a movement, now how can we create relationship with people? I'm just going to hear it from all of you. What are your thoughts, and how do you think that we can create relationship? Okay, through the work and talents, right? Okay. Being a good neighbor, wonderful. Okay. Any other thoughts?
Willing to accept somebody.
Willing to accept somebody, right? Accept people. Super.
Helping others.
Helping others. Okay. Any other thoughts from others? How can we build a relationship? Communication. Okay, that is two ways, right? You're talking about. One is sharing information, the other one is listening. I think that's something very crucial. See, many times as believers, we are ready to give our time, give our resources, and give help. But at the same time, or many times, we are so afraid to get something from them or listen to them, right? Or get their help for us. So it's all two way. When we talked about helping others, we immediately we say, I can come forward to help somebody. But are we also ready to receive help from others? Do we have the humility to receive the help from others? Yeah. So that's something that we also need to ask. Wonderful. Any other thoughts? How can we build relationships? Consistency and follow up. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, that's very important. That everybody speaks the same language, right? That's consistency, and it should be consistent throughout the time. You cannot speak something yesterday and it can become something else tomorrow. Wonderful. Yeah. Uh, Forgiveness, and you want to add something to this? Okay. So forgiveness, and I'm pairing it with somebody, something. Okay. Forget and forgive. Okay. But I'm trying to also find another word here called repentance. Repentance. Yeah. So again, we are ready to forgive others, but are we ready also to be forgiven by others. Right? That's what. That's something that we all need to learn. Yeah. So, yeah, they all go hand in hand. And Jesus on his in his prayer he said, "Lord, forgive us the way we forgive others." Right. So both are important. That I'm forgiving someone, and I'm also expecting forgiveness from others, also from God. Right. Yeah. Super. What else? What else do you think that are crucial for us to build relationship? Okay, these are very generic. Now I'm talking about movement Siliguri, right? So as a movement, how are you going to build relationships? Because one of the things that I also like here is accept people, right? So there is always this dilemma of open-minded and narrow-minded. Many times we say that we are open-minded, but we are ready to accept only the other open-minded people. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. Many times we say that we are open minded, but only ready to accept those who are also open minded. Are we also ready to accept the narrow minded whom we think as narrow minded? I'm talking about. I'm not sure who is actually narrow minded or open minded. Just telling that as a thought. So when we talk about accepting others, are we ready to accept everyone, or is there a filter we have in front of us saying that, hey, if this person comes in, it will be a little trouble for me, so let's not have him in. Let's avoid this person. Something like that never comes to our mind. I think that is something that we need to work on to come out of the judgmental spirit that we have. Right? So when we say that we are open-minded in Christ, because Christ has given us an open mind, are we ready to accept everyone? And considering said that, are we ready to work with everyone? That is what building relationship is. It's not just about accepting, but are we also ready to work with them? Now, it can be totally a different network that exists in Siliguri. I'm not sure whether if there is any other networks that exist in Siliguri. But just like how we have a collection of people, if there is also another network, am I ready to work with them? It's a question we all need to ask ourselves. We can tell that, hey, they're not ready to work with us, but are we taking any steps towards it? So yesterday, I was remembering when Brother Binoy and we are all sharing the lunch, we were talking about possibility of unity in Siliguri. And one thing that came up was it's not possible to unite everyone for anything, right? Because they might be busy or they might have their own thoughts. There might be so many things. But are we taking effort to move towards it? Or are we assuming that they will not join us in any cause that we take? So these are some of the conscious steps that we need to take every time when we move towards building up relationships. So accepting others is very, very important. Similarly, accepted by others also is important. So we sometimes, that's why I'm saying that many times we think only one side of the communication. We always need to think about both the sides. What is being communicated to me and what am I communicating back to them, right? So both the things are very important. That is why forgiveness is important and repentance is important, right? And say consistency is very, very important. Right now, as movement, now if we think that these are the major things that we need to work on, and we need to constantly strive for building up relationship. You all know Philippians chapter 2 predominantly talks about every one of us need to think about others, right? It's not about what we want to do, but it's about what others expect. Uh, it is about. It's not about what it's comfortable for us, but it is all about what is good for others, right? So when our hearts uh, become like Christ's heart always think about others. I think that is the transformation Jesus is expecting individually from all of us. So, as I said, the movement is always a snowball movement. It starts from a small ball of snow, and the small ball of snow is you and I. It's not somebody else. It's not a group. So, if we want the entire city to be transformed, the transformation should start from us. We cannot expect the transformation from someone else. We cannot expect the change from someone else. We should be the change. We should be ready to dissolve. We should be ready to be a catalyst. And that is the only thing which is going to change the entire city for us. And so the most important elements are purpose, process, people, and impact. All of four are majorly important, but we are giving more importance to people because the relationship matters. The entire movement should be built on relationship, both internal and external. I'm talking about, right? So it is a good relationship among all of us here, and good relationship between with all of us and the rest of the city. So that's how we need to build our relationships in every stage. Right. So now the key things that we are going to discuss today, one of the strategies that we are going to make today is what are we going to do after the movement day? We had a very good plan about movement day yesterday. So as I said, the movement starts at the end of the movement day. So it is movement day, end, and movement starts. Right? So movement day itself is not the movement. Movement day is just, we call it as a catalytic event. Catalytic means just to give a push, right? Just to push for the city. And the actual movement starts after that. Now, again, in any movement, if you take for a matter of the movement of, we were talking about the Indian national independent movement, right? Yesterday. And even if you take that movement, the movement always have three different phases. The first is the momentum phase. It picks up momentum, right? Remember yesterday we saw a clip and there was a small boy who was trying to push the tree out. He was a lone ranger. He just went alone. There was nobody to support. But soon after, so many people joined him, right? They all joined together. That is how the momentum picks. So once the people know that there is something good in what we are talking about, in the purpose of our movement, people will join. A lot of people will join. There will be a huge momentum. But when there is a momentum picking up, we also need to really carefully manage the momentum. Right? And when the momentum picks up, we forget to manage it, then it becomes a chaos. What happens is, say, momentum should be managed. If we don't see, if even in that same video, if everybody thinks that they can do whatever they want, they might not be able to lift the tree at all. If they all give pressure at the different times, they all have to collaborate and say, "Hey, let's all lift together now." That is the time they can push and lift the tree, right? So every momentum picked up should be properly managed, and managing the movement is also very, very important. So once we are talking about movement day, the momentum will pick up, and we also need to talk about how we are going to handle this momentum, right? Okay, so now we will go to the exercise. Remember the vision sheets that we created yesterday. So if the teams are here, individual, even if few of you are there, can you choose which? I know that not everybody from the team are here, but we're just going to discuss about few things. Can you please sit with your teams? And people who join new, sir, you can join some other teams as well. Yeah, so you can take your markers. Me markers? Yeah. Right. So after discussing, we came up with four major issues that we are going to focus. Number one is human trafficking. Number two, drug addiction. Is it drug, right? Yeah, drug addiction. Number three, strongholds. And number four are youth, sorry, social media, isn't it? So, social media addiction is what the fourth is, correct? Okay. Right now, who said human trafficking as number one? Human trafficking is number one. Okay, great. Drug addiction, you have pointed out drug addiction. Strongholds, uh, is strongholds are there? Yeah. Okay. And social media, you have said. Okay. Brother Amos, your team has also said social media, right? Yeah. Okay. So now what are we going to do is, so you can take only human trafficking, right? And you can list down what are all the things as a movement we can do. You can think of, see, there are always three levels. One is the awareness level. Number two is the engagement level. The third is the impact level. So what awareness am I creating? How am I engaging them? And what is the impact? So three levels we can think of, and you can create a list of things, whatever you think that is possible by all of us together, right? And then we can discuss it all. So, Brother Ruben, you can think about human trafficking, and Brother Ramos, you can talk about social media addictions, right? Strongholds you can talk about, and you can talk about drug addiction. So you can list down what we can do. Yeah, you can write it down on the other side of the paper. So what are we going to do about it? Just take this as one topic and you can write. It can be awareness programs or engagement levels or impact creation. Awareness, engagement, and impact. Yes. You can write on this side. Yeah. You can write how many ever. Even if you have 50 ideas, we can take it all. Hi Raj, you there?
Good morning, brother Peter.
Very good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. So we were just discussing about our action plans.
Okay.
So the four major things that we chose yesterday on human trafficking, drug addiction, social media addiction, and the strongholds. These are the four major issues that we narrowed down yesterday.
Yeah.
The four groups now working on finding action points. So what is our next step in each of the four areas? So you spoke about drug addiction and human trafficking yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. So there is brother Ruben and sister Hannah are working on that. So you can also join them. If you can just give them a call, give a call to Ruben. You can also join and give your inputs to them.
Okay. Okay. Should I give them a call, or is it possible for them to join here?
Yeah, I can ask them to join here then. Ruben and sister Hannah, can you join Raj here? He also wanted to discuss on the same. Please come. Yeah. So you can come here.
हाय पास्टर राज,
Good to see you.
जय मसीह।
नमस्ते राज भैया।
कैसे हैं आप?
बिल्कुल बढ़िया। आप कैसे?
बस ठीक हूँ, धन्यवाद। Can you read?
Yes. Awareness.
हम पढ़े बोले नहीं तो
And trafficking, lack of financial stability,
not that side.
This one.
This one.
diversity.
This is the one.
Okay. Poverty.
No. Just hold on.
Thank you.
This side.
Poverty or prashansa. Awareness, creating awareness programs in the society. Churches, families use social media platform to create awareness, engagement, creating small groups, follow up, raising trainers, volunteers, creating connection. Okay, providing safe homes, collaborate with existing NGO, connecting with law and authorities. Yeah, these are the
Now the third one, this is the third one now,
impact.
impact. What do we expect to see within maybe 5 years?
Okay.
ये
Okay.
ऊपर का लिखा वाला maybe you can add if anything you wanted to add.
Yesterday,
Yes, and,
Sister Momita and we were talking, and Sister Momita, since she is working with the mainly among the prostitutes, so she said the similar point what you have already written, raising awareness, and the challenge for NGOs is like Christian NGOs is keeping it gospel centered.
Yeah.
if they keep it gospel centered, and if they try to bring Christ into it, then it becomes a problem for them, because they are harassed by the government. The government might take their license back. So 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 she was saying that the challenge she is facing is keeping it gospel centered, and creatively bringing Christ into it. Like she said that if there is a team who can develop a creative method of reaching them out, specifically this community, specifically drug people who are in human trafficking, and who are in prostitution. And also one more thing she said: reducing stigma. Like many times when the girls they come out of the flesh trade, it is hard for the community to accept them. It is hard for the churches to accept them. They feel awkward coming on the pulpit and sharing their testimony of their past life. And even the church youths and the church believers, they have this stigma about them. Reducing this stigma. And one more thing, that what you have added, we have written preventive method. So first is safe migration. Okay. Safe migration in the sense means, we need to be careful, the girls need to be careful. That does not mean that they cannot go Bangalore, Delhi, or Pune for work. They need to be trained properly about safe migration preventive methods. Like if you're going somewhere, for example, hills girls, they are very soft in their heart, and whatever others will say, they will just easily fall into prey. So how to teach them, or to teach them these preventive methods of safe migration? That's what Sister Momita said. And one more issue we faced was legal education. Legal education is necessary for the churches, and for these ladies. No, they should know what is their rights and what is their what is their authorities. And what you have already written, role of the church. The church need to be properly educated about reaching them out, about reaching this specific community out. Usually when there is a problem like that, the church want to be, they want to part their side. They don't want to fall into many problems. So, but the role of the church is most prevalent. And social media, that's what we discussed yesterday. The focus, what we want to see, what she said, what is the focus, what is the final aim that we are trying to reach? That is restoration of survivors. And restoration of survivors in the sense means every field, financially, physically, socially, spiritually, in every field, restoration of the survivors. Holistic development of the survivors. That is our aim. That's what we wanted to see. And also for those who are in the church, properly educated and getting a burden for them. That's what we want to see in the next 20 years maybe. Jamasi.
Having tea break now.
So,
Wonderful.
yeah, in this, if we are going by a strategy or like metric numbers, how much or how do we want it to quote it? Like कितना लोगों को हम लोग देख सकते करके हम लोग like calculations अगर and tentatively हम लोग at least इतना लोगों को हम लोग
Percentage, like in percentage
in
wise.
percentage भी how much, and we can see this.
Let's say, for example, like for 5 years, how much percentage of human trafficking do we want to see coming down?
That is, I think that Brother Amos, Sister Momita, and Pastor Ashish, I think those who are already working there, they might know what is the rate of reducing rate, like how well the people are taking it and how well the girls are taking it. So I think taking them into it will be good, because for me, I have not directly done ministry with them.
Yeah.
So someone who is already there, they may know. No.
Yeah, we can come up with a sort of an imaginative or a tentative figure.
One of the thing what I'm saying, what I feel is, already जो लोग existing car, this is something like not the beginning now, no, it's already existingly working. So, yeah, I think in this engaging part, में what we can do also is already जो existing workers का hurdles or what are some of the challenges they have been going through, we can take those things into consideration and include in what or like to accelerate the work we have to come up with something so that then that will give more enhancement to the work. And अगर पहले उन लोग 10 लोगों को redeem कर पा रहे हम we can the number has to go up. So that means here we should have somewhere or the other the previous results. Yeah.
Yeah. And the challenges, the hurdles that they are facing, first spiritually, that is sharing the gospel. How to share the gospel creatively with them, so that they may not be in problem with the government also, and the work of the Christ be done. Second, financially, providing them, long term, yeah, jobs or some things like that, maybe some skill training for them. And socially reducing the stigma, and then what other aspects? Mentally also, because being in flesh trade, उनको अपना वर्थ नहीं है, they don't know self worth.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
100 रुपए में अपने आप को बेच देते हैं, 200 रुपए में, कई तो एक ड्रग डोज के लिए बेच देते हैं, राइट? So that sense of self worth is not there. So until and unless that thing, they cannot stand anywhere, because they will always feel that we are not able to do it. So mentally also we need to lead them and mold them into some kind of studies or some kind of things which will help them. Spiritually we are praying and we will be with them, but mentally also some kind of therapy is needed, I think.
Yeah, so basically restoring self-worth.
Yeah.
And okay. So under impact, Pastor Raj,
Yes.
basically what we have under impact, which is basically the outcome of all this awareness and engagements, is restoration, as you said, restoration and holistic development of the survivors,
Yes.
providing with skills and jobs,
Yeah.
reducing social stigma,
Yeah.
restoring self-worth.
Yeah.
Any
And
other?
also the role of the church, maybe the role of the church, that raising awareness in the church and leading the church into action. Maybe we want to see the church more and more coming up front for these ladies.
Yeah, we have put it that under awareness.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else, Pastor Ruben? There's one more thing, drug addiction, right?
Drug addiction is being done by another group.
Okay.
4 points को उन लोगों ने yesterday discuss करने के बाद 4 points था ना, human trafficking, drug addict, strongholds and social media. So already yesterday का 4 groups है, so each group का one point देके you have to make 3 things, 3 levels of movement. One is awareness, engaging and impact. So that's the thing that we have written the points all about. You want to add anything more?
I think this is good. Sister Hannah, can you finally, when you have already made it, can you take a picture and send me on WhatsApp?
Oh yeah, I think yeah, ये photo भेज सकते हैं तो.
We'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
Any other points under impact, sister?
Impact.
Anything we want to see? Let's see in another 5-10 years.
Maybe we can say the family relationships are restored, or an institution of the family comes into the fullness. Because obviously, when this kind of trafficking is stopped,
So
the
receiving them
family
back into
ethics
the-
will be, actually, इसमें हम लोग एक चीज कर सकते हैं in engaging में, not only talking about the human trafficking, but also we can do some training programs regarding family as well. So wherein was the role of a father and the mother and children and husband and wife. So ये चीज क्या करेगा? Holistic development of the family will come through, not only as an individual victim, but also they also will be restored. इन लोगों का भी तो next भविष्य होना है. ऐसा नहीं, not only knowing themselves, but they need to go forward in life, है ना? So
And also one more thing, sister. नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को है ना, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी विकास भैया क्या कर रहे हैं, विकास भैया अभी जो प्रेजेंट जनरेशन है वो तो पूरी चली गई है, वो तो पूरा फ्लैश ट्रेड में है. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ उन लोगों को खालपाड़ा से बाहर निकालने से ज्यादा वो किस पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, उनके बच्चों को वो पढ़ा रहे हैं, उनके बच्चों को वो रेस कर रहे हैं. तो अभी उनके जो बच्चे जो आ रहे हैं वो उन लोगों का माइंडसेट टोटली चेंज हो रहा है, बिकॉज दे आर न्यू. So next generation, taking the next generation out of the clutches of flesh trades.
Yeah.
By providing safe homes.
yeah.
We noted that. Yeah.
Sister Momita is also doing similar work, है ना. जवान को, टीनेजर्स को बाहर निकालना. अडल्ट्स तो ऑलरेडी वहां पर ही है, उनके बच्चों को, टीनेजर्स को बाहर निकालना.
I think, as we already mentioned in engaging, collaboratively working together in one agenda के साथ काम करने से this will be more effective and productive actually.
Right.
But as long as we just stay with our own, okay, हम करेंगे करके बोलने से that will be more confined. But or it is being liberated or loosely, like, connected with one another and doing, it's like back to back supporting as well. Then we can for surely see a drastic change.
Okay, so human trafficking, basically it's a crime. So and the law comes into effect.
Yeah.
So under impact, I think so under impact, if we can put, that we as NGOs to influence the law to come up with stringent measures,
Yes.
against human trafficking, so that they are not casual about it. There is no bribery and allowing things to happen.
Yes.
So the law should come up with stringent, strict measures.
So maybe two things, like when an NGO is working or when we are doing taking collaborative steps, I think two more people or two more group of people come into role. The first is the key leaders of the society. Okay, the key leaders of the society, and the second is media. Media, which is very important source of providing education and also making the people aware. So maybe social media platforms, using like I Love Siliguri, Khabar Samay, these people, because the police can take bribe, but once the media is in role, then there is no there is no question, they cannot do anything. Yeah.
We mentioned that point here. Social media करके mention किया.
I think so. That's about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, brother.
Yeah. You can also go and have tea. All the chairs are empty now.
You can have yours in the meantime. Seeing you. Yeah, but we are missing your physical presence here.
We will be there. My sister and mom is coming from US on 12th in Delhi, and then I will be bringing them together with me to Siliguri.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Happy family reunion.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. So we might have created a set of actions for the visions that we have. One could be how are we going to create awareness, and then how are we going to create engagement of people, right? And when it comes to impact, we might have also written what I see as an impact because of these two. I'm just going to chisel this down a little bit to make us understand how to create a very smart goal, right? In Luke 16, Jesus talking about this story of a owner and his people, the king and his people. He says at the end, the people in the world are so shrewd, they are too smart, and they take care of themselves really well, right? But Jesus expects each and every one of us also to be very smart. So when I say smart, some of you might have heard about this. It's a goal setting technique, right? How to set a goal for my vision. I'm having a vision that human trafficking should be eradicated from the city of Siliguri. But how should I work towards it? What is the next step I want to take? Okay, fine, that is the outcome I'm expecting. That someday there won't be any human trafficking. But for that, what am I going to do today? I need to start with an action, right? And goal setting will give us a very clear understanding of how we can create such action steps. So SMART is the name of the goal that we're going to set, and it is going to be very specific. It's a specific goal, right? Okay, what is meant by a specific goal? Specific goal is narrowed down to whom are we going to work and what are we going to do, right? For example, if I'm talking about social media, what age group am I going to focus? Because as we are small set of people, we may not be able to cater to the entire set of people outside, but I can start focusing from one age group or one geographical location, or it can be, say, churches somewhere. So one area of people, one group of people. So it need to be very, very specific for you, right? And YUM is measurable. Any impact that we create which cannot be measured is not an impact at all. I cannot go and tell somewhere outside saying that, hey, we have started Movement Siliguri 5 years back, and now there is no human trafficking. People will ask, how do you know that? You will tell that, I know, but how? I know. That is not going to be the impact. The impact is, say, today, 1,000 people are human trafficked every day. Example, I'm just giving an example. You have to come up with proper numbers. And after I work for 5 years, I need to reduce it to 500. It should be measurable, quantifiable. So that is what is called a measurable goal, right? It should be quantifiable. Quantifiable means you have to put it in number. That 5 years back, the human trafficking was 1,000 people were trafficked every day, but today it's going to be 500 because of all the work I've done. So for that, you have to prepare this way. If I'm going to reduce the number in next 5 years, what I'm going to do today? So that is where the awareness and engagement and the impact programs that you created will be helping. And third thing should be, what is a specific measurable, and then achievable goal, right? It should be achievable or applicable, or you can say, or possible. That's what it's meant. Don't aim for something that is not possible, right? Aim for 5 years that I'm going to impact 1 lakh people in the next 5 years. That is possible, because if we have conduct awareness programs for, say, in all the churches and all the schools and colleges, easily awareness creation of 1 lakh people is possible. But impact creation in 1 lakh people means a lot. So you should have an achievable goal for awareness, achievable goal for engagement, and achievable goal for impact. Example, let me give an example. Again, taking the example of human trafficking, say if I'm going to reach out all the schools, colleges, churches in Siliguri, then I may create awareness in 100,000 people, 1 lakh people. Okay. Then Ruben has written, after that there will be small groups, correct? So in small groups, how many I can accommodate? So probably I can create, say, 100 small groups. Yeah, it sounds like a good possible way. So 100 small groups into 10 each, that is only 1,000, right? That I'm constantly engaging with 1,000 people. And among the 1,000 people that I have engaged, say 500 are impacted and their lives transformed. That is a possible goal. That means 5 years, 500 people's lives should be transformed. Okay, these are all just examples. These are all not real numbers. You have to come up with the real numbers after doing a lot of research and things. But I'm just saying. So for 500 people to be impacted in the next 5 years, what can I do today? How many people I can start impacting today? 5 years, 500 people. So I can say first year I'll reach 20, and it goes to a multiplication. Second year I'll do 100. Third year I'll do 200. Fourth year I can do 400, and the fifth year I can do 500. That is a possible vision. If we start with 500 and say today I'm going to reach at 500, that's not possible, right? That is not going to be an achievable goal for you at all. So what is achievable today? You have to do. You have to start from there. So what is my? How am I going to create awareness? How am I going to create engagement? And how am I going to impact? I have to come up with very clearly measurable, achievable goal, right? Also, this should be realistic. Realistic means it should be tangible to see. You say somebody's life has been transformed. That means that they should not be a victim or somebody who is engaged in human trafficking again, right? What if after 2 years they go back to human trafficking, or they are being victimized for human trafficking? That means you have not achieved it realistically. Am I making sense? Yeah. So it should not be a short-term impact on them. It should be a long-term transformation in their lives. So how am I going to do that? So you have to. So these are the things you have to consider before coming up to the action plan. And the last is time bound. You have to set time. Say if I want to create awareness in 1 lakh people, right? And next year, 2022, I'm going to create it with 10,000 people. That means every month I have to at least reach out to around 800 people. So how can I reach out 800 people every month? That is how you have to break down your strategy. That's how you have to break down. You have to break down your goal, right? If you overall go and say I'm going to reach out 1 lakh, it looks like a huge number. But if you say, okay, this month it's just going to be 800 people, that's it. Not more than that. Identifying 800 people is not at all a difficult thing. You identify 20 different churches, right? And say 20 different colleges or schools, your work is done. So if you look at the big picture, you might get astonished looking at, wow, it's a huge number. 1 lakh people, how can I even meet? But when you break it down to SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals, it will be really simple for us to start working today. So very simple. What I'm going to do today? Now I need to just identify 20 schools, which is not going to be a difficult problem. Let us all meet for one time. list down all the 20 schools. Let's connect with all the 20 schools and we'll share that we are going to do an awareness program. Fine, on the other side, we are going to tie up with an NGO who's already doing awareness programs on human trafficking. Let's connect these two. Our work is done for the first month. Does it make sense? Yeah. Looks easy now, right? But it's not easy. Yeah. Of course, you know that it's not easy. But the first step we take actually gives us a lot of real life education. That shows us what is the stronghold that is holding others from. See, when you go and tell that I'm going to create an awareness program, do you think that everybody will say, yeah, come on and do it? They will have their own apprehension. They'll say, don't do it. No, my school reputation will be, if you're talking about human trafficking in my school, or if you're talking about drug addiction, the people will think that my school students are also drug addicted. So I will not allow that. There are a lot of apprehensions that are going to come. That is where you need all of us to work together on this. Right? So it is not, even if you're looking at human trafficking, social media is also your goal, right? And in helping others, see, there might be different teams working on different things, but wherever you have the expertise, please share it with others and they can do. So do we understand this specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time-bound goals? So this is what we are going to create now. Right? So each of your teams have come up with a few ideas on what are we going to do. I want you to focus on just one of them. Do not focus on too many things. What do you think is feasible to start now? Say if it is about in social media, you have spoken about so many things. I want you to take one thing in that. Right? In strongholds, you spoke about so many things. Start with one thing. And you start creating a quantifiable number, measurable number. That if you're talking about a prayer walk, that today, say, 50 people are joining the prayer walk. And in 5 years' time, I want to see 500 people are joining the prayer walk. So what is my strategy towards it? How am I going to do that? Right? And then you fix your strategy on that and move towards it. So when you talk about drug addiction, right? Let me just, I'm going to just focus on specifically, I'm going to focus on school kids, say 10th and 11th standard kids. Then what am I going to do? How many kids I'm going to meet, right? And what is the level of engagement I'm going to have? How realistically I'm going to take it forward? And what is the time I'm fixing? Every year, what is my target? Every 5th year, what is my target? And eventually, what is my target after the 20th year? So first set the 20th year target and then break down to 5 years. Now break down to 1 year at a time. So 5 years is typically a kind of a time it gives for us to think, rethink, and review what we are doing, our progresses. And in all these things, it's not easy to start a project and do. Of course, people from World Vision knows, right? It's not easy to do a project. Certainly not easy. There are so many stakeholders involved in it. What you need is patience. We need a lot of patience. Sometimes we will not even see the outcome in the next 5 years. That is fine. God is looking at the efforts that we put. He's not looking at the impact because He's the one who's going to create the impact. It's not us. Just by I'm going to do an awareness program, nothing is going to change. Right? But who's going to create the impact is God. But what He is looking at me, am I doing my work right? That's it. So please note it down in your sheets. Take one goal and write down the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound goal, and write what are the steps of action you're going to do. Step 1, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to identify 20 schools. Step 2, I'm going to connect with the principals and get a permission for 1 day of awareness program. Step 3, I'm going to connect with an NGO to do the awareness program. And step 4, how am I going to follow up? So I'm going to ask them all to follow my Instagram page, right? Where we will put Insta messages. Of course, social media team is already talking about Insta. So that is where all your work doing will be interconnected. So now you know at step 4, I need an Instagram page, right? So obviously you need to know that I have to create an Instagram page today. If you know what I'm going to do next, I know what I should do today. The fourth step, I need an Instagram page, but I don't have an Instagram page now. I can't wait till my third step to get over because then it will be too late. So let me just talk to the media team and ask them to create an Instagram page for us. Simple. Yeah. And say I need to have 20 schools collected every week in one of the meetings, in one of the gatherings. We can ask all the leaders. We have 80 plus churches being partner of SCCF, isn't it? Yeah. Correct? 80 plus. So you can ask all of them to give their own contacts, their schools, and people who are there. So that is how you have to strategize. Because on the verge, if you're going to find out, you call somebody and say, brother, do you have some schools contact? They will be saying, I don't know. But if you're informing in advance and saying that this is what we're going to do, and can you share all the school contacts with us? Can you share all the colleges with us? So then people will also know that there is going to be something happening, and we also are part of it. Right? And that is why planning at every stage is very, very important. So can we do this? Can we do the SMART goals for all the, so choose one and do a SMART goal, and then do steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, what am I going to do? Okay, so specific means, say I'm going to work with school kids. Or college kids. It can be again specific. Or you can say, I'm going to work with people who are in the age of 15 to 25. Something like that. You can specify them. So why we are asking you to specify is your strategy is going to be different for different age groups. If you are looking at a school, it is very easy. But if you are looking at somebody from say 10 to 30, then a 15-year-old will be in the school, a 29-year-old will be in the company, in his office. How are we going to connect both? It's not possible. So when you specifically mention that I'm going to work with school children, for example, I'm giving, you can come up with whoever you are comfortable with or whomever you feel that you can start immediately with. Then you know that the focus is going to be only school. I'm not going to look at all the things. Right? I'm not stuck. See, because in awareness program, there are multiple ways. You can go onto the street and you can have a huge program and with a loudspeaker and say, you are creating awareness. But that's not going to be our strategy. If you want to do that, you can also do that. But I'm focusing on the schools. So my strategy is going to be identifying schools, talking to the schools, creating a awareness program schedule, engaging with an NGO, organizing the meeting, following them up. Now, when I say following them up, what is my follow-up plan? When you say small groups, how am I going to invite them to my small group? Is it going to be a virtual group or a face-to-face group, or will people openly come? Yeah. Sometimes once you go through it, you will have some hurdles in between. So you can review yourself and change the strategy. That is what is called tactics. In war, there are two different terminologies used. One is strategy. Strategy is something that, say, if I'm going to war with my neighboring country, right? And I'll say, okay, let me sit down and do a strategy. That is, I understood this way, so I'm doing a strategy. But then in the course of war, we'll find that they have some weapons which we never thought of, right? Then what you do is a tactics, that you change your strategy a little bit, right? And you have the tactics in it. So those are all small moves. Just to avoid this particular weapon, what should I do? So you will come up with those eventually. So now are we clear? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now teams can come one by one and share your findings and what is the mission statement that you're writing and how are you going to do that. So before we move on to that segment, I'm just going to complete the movement process. Earlier we said that movement will gain momentum, which need to be managed. So what happens is when the momentum picks up, right now you are planning, and when as I said, now after the movement day, when you gather so many people and we share the vision and they also caught the vision. So one of the important things in movement day planning should also be these should be commissioned to the people. The 4 major decisions that we are going to take, right? We are going to commission it to the entire city, saying that we are going to do it. If you have resources, if you have people, if you know things, please do join hands with us. Let's all do it together. So that should be the proper commissioning you should do, right? And when you do that, and if you manage the movement well, what happens is there will be a multiplication of the effects. There will be multiplication. You might start with small number, 100, 200, right? But as I said, to reach out the city, it's not possible for us to reach it alone. But similarly, looking at you, so many other people will also start discussing about it, start thinking about it, and start working on it. So you will reach out 200, but 5 more people in the city will also do that. So that naturally comes up to 1,000 people, right? So that is how you have to plan. It should not always stop with us that I do something and I should multiply. No, it should I do something so everyone else multiplies. That is the way we are going to bless the entire city. So keep the momentum going, manage it well, and you will see multiplication in the days to come. Right. So those are very important things I want to share. Yeah, now the time is open for teams. You can come and present and also share how we are going to do it. Who's going to come first? No, let them take time. Come. Come in here.
Commanders are on break. So this is our goal statement, or you can say mission statement. I will read, okay. That's not good.
This is our goal, to create impact on 500 youth through digital awareness and media workshops on social media addiction towards safe, secure future by 2026. This is our goal. The steps, this is the first, we'll create the awareness for 100 youth, because target is 500, so we'll do the startup. Okay, then after awareness, we'll do the workshop. So among 100, so we are expecting 30 come in the workshop. And after 30, the course, we'll do the course for 3 days course. So in the course, we'll invite, maximum we'll get the 10 numbers, after the 30. And after the course, we'll start up the final result, business result. And we can expecting maximum 6, minimum 3. So these 6 or 3 is our achievement, our target. We achieve this target, and these are the 3 or 6. Will our next that faculty or that motivator who can come the next awareness program give their testimony because they are addiction, now they have become a businessman. This is our program.
Yes, this is the state. Thank you. Any questions you have? Our main target is social media addiction. Okay. So in our first stage, we want to give awareness to 100 people. So when 100 people out of 100, maybe 30 will be interested for any workshop, because they are already high tech and media tech, PUBG and games. Yes.
Take them out of the addiction.
Yes.
They are making them
Yes. So since these adolescents are already into technology and media and all, but they are into negative part, they are into addiction. But we want to use their skills, their knowledge and interest, the same interest, not taking them away from the digital world, but within the digital world, we want to take them to the media workshop. So once they come and attend the 3 days media workshop, they will know so many options, so many business ideas they will get, so, and they can monetize their their interest. So out of this workshop, 30 people, maybe 10 people will be interested to join the course, any business course, digital marketing course, and we can find sponsors, for them to enroll to any courses and all, maybe 6 months or 1 year course. So once these six adolescents have completed their course, then they will, out of 10, maybe six or four, five, even 4 5 also start a small business, their own entrepreneurship, own business thing. So they will be the testimony for the next awareness again. So in the next awareness class, we said, and they will say, we were addicted to social media, and then somehow we came to know about the workshop we attended. Then the team, the congregation, the churches helped me for the course, and today I am a businessman. I make money today.
What kind of business?
So what can, so there are ample of digital marketing space. Like you can monetize through blogging, you can have a digital marketing, you can have a
Like
print media, a mobile apps and games. So once a person is addicted in mobile games, and once that addicted person is into mobile game development, he gets boring seeing the game because now he knows the interest. He is no more interested in playing games, or he will be interested in making games. Okay, but that doesn't mean that making games which is addicted. Maybe some good, meaningful, and very constructive apps they can make. Thank you.
Hi. Today is my first day. Brother Sani he's actually ex-drug addict. So it was easy for us. It was easy for us to write down. So our mission statement will be bringing awareness and transfer 500 addicts, which are mostly school and college students, by life skill leadership training, and sending them back as change agent to the affected community in next 5 years. Another question is, how do we do that? Our initial target is to reaching out schools, around 30 schools and 5 colleges in and around Siliguri. So we hope by doing that, there will be a lot of contacts who are already addicts, even not only the schools, like we get a lot of information from there that the community addicts also. Then what we are going to do, there are a lot of existing NGOs that are working among the addicts. With their help, we start doing the follow-up, prayer supports, and also clinical counseling, which is starting a helpline number so that we can stay connected. Then also along with that, counseling the families whose members are affected. Then by that time, we understand we have enough contacts or like we have already in the process of seeing some of the changes that is taking place in the addict's life. So then we take them to life skill training and leadership program. Now, life skill training is quite a vast idea. It includes everything, like your survival, even professional training, like brother was sharing about some business training, because soon after you come out of addiction, you need to know what you are going to do for life. So that also will include, and also leadership program. Why leadership program? Because we want to see that you become change agent, and I see a change agent standing in front of me, so that you can go back to the community of the affected, to the affected community, And because Sunny was telling me that he knows some of his friends who are addicted. So it is those addicts only who can go back and do much better job than we initially started. And this whole thing we want to do it in 5 years of time. So this is a cycle of program like we get few addicts, we see them that they are capable of taking them, they are capable of coming to the life skill program, leadership program, then again they go back, we get more addicts. So like that it will go on for 5 years. That's what a little presentation from us. I think Sunny will answer.
Yeah, sorry if that,
Sorry, if I exposed you. I said he is ex-Sept.
Actually, I used to take so many things, but I never take the drugs like Denrax and all, and drinking, ganja, that will also come including. Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Thank you.
Well, right.
These leadership program and other things you said, how will you see them? Someone else will partner. How?
I think
We'll partner with some churches, leaders.
I think Christendom has enough leadership capability, program capabilities. Surely it will take the help. That's a big question.
In Siliguri,
Some individual, we know some individual churches are doing that. Surely, a lot of addicts coming to that. Not exactly.
no.
So this is the full step. So I think we need to find out the.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what we say, that some existing NGOs help will be required actually for us. I mean, around my training center, there are 3-4 rehabilitation centers and all. I have some connection with them. Oh, Kumar.
Actually, there are more than 30 rehab centers in the city. Very sadly, there is no Christian rehab center.
Yes.
I know one.
You know what? Oh, praise God.
In the one is in Darjeeling, right?
You as a resource person.
In Darjeeling, more also one.
Yeah, and there's also one newly one started in Kolkata. So that one rather to
You know that
So-
Christian center,
Yes.
you have to invite them to the group.
Yeah.
And you have to invest your time with them. Making them group.
Yeah, once upon a time, I was also working among rehab centers. So it's a nice thing. Like, regarding the
actually in Siliguri, when I have started that work among them in 2006 after leaving campus visit, that time it was that I did the project, that cardiac intervention project. So that time that one NGO from Calcutta, that is Christian background is there, the Samaritans, they came to Siliguri and they have started that one rehab center in Siliguri. And with that rehab center, another one NGO they tied up. So we do that connect to the peer educator. This is like that Sunny is a addicted to art. So we choose Sunny as a peer educator. To Sunny, we collect the addicted and we try to get it motivated with them. And after that, we send them to the rehab center, the 3-month course. First, it is a detox. Detox is a 15 days and fully free of cost. But nowadays, we have no scope. Because so many addicted are there. They want to become a new, but we don't have that free detox center. It was 10-12 years back. We need to think about that because addiction people maximum is the people with the program families better. So
there is the code, the detox code for the 15 days, then the rehabilitation code, minimum 3 to 6 months. It is not a one day. Maybe after 6 months, to complete the course, maybe they can get signed. So it is being follow process. So I think that is a good initiative.
Yes.
Then you can have rehab centers also, because if you have more Christian rehab centers, all the rehab centers are commercial. They are very commercial. All of the commercial. Once the patient goes there, they will not leave there. Because they want to. Yeah. Okay, so I think because that in the Champasari area, we know that those were started because in Siliguri, the Genesis Foundation. Yes. The Genesis Foundation, actually the founder of the Genesis Foundation, the Mr. Kormai was from the Dallas University. Okay. But he started in Siliguri. It was under in the NGO where I worked and the it was sponsorship. But after that, the Genesis Foundation name is here, but all run by the Christians, and this is a fully commercial.
ঠিক আছে হয়েছে
When the started in civil hospital, they came up some meeting about the was there and speaking movies. That is what will happen when you put the idea in front of the program. All more ideas will also come. You can also work a little on the research part and when the invite them to the Hindu day. They know that we are also.
Please read this one. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, anyway, yeah, the point that we took was strongholds, and therefore in under stronghold we came across so many points that we can focus on, but we took the fourth point, which is corporate. Topic was strongholds. Okay, and we focused on the fourth point, which is corporate fasting prayer, which we wanted to see, I think, for a couple of years now. 2-3 times we put forward this idea in Seva Kendra, but sadly some leaders said we can do it in the morning. They never turned up. Then Father said, let us do it in the evening. Nobody turned up. Finally, that is gone. Okay, so that's another sad story. Okay, anyway, but we want to see in the next 5 years, okay, in the next 5 years, we want to see at least once in a month, if we can bring together 5,000 people, 5,000 believers from all over Siliguri, gather in a place, maybe in St. Mary's ground, okay, which is a Christian ground. I'm sure Bishop will agree to that. Last time he was okay, they were okay with it. Just for prayer, okay, a whole day of fasting and prayer, okay. We want to see 5,000 people come. And our target is going to be, we would like to reach out 20,000 believers for that. Because if you reach out at least to 20,000 believers, maybe 5,000 will come somewhere down the line after 5 years or within 5 years, okay? And once that is done, we want to break down that into 50 centers of 100 people each gathering. So that will come around 5,000 people again, okay? And finally, yeah, 5,000 people gathering for prayer, corporate fasting prayer once in a month. And the time span that we want to focus is 5 years. And how do we plan to do it? We want to visit all the church leaders in Siliguri, requesting them to send their believers to be a part of it. Because once that is done, we believe as a result of corporate prayer, we are so sure, all of us, we are sure there will be people who will be coming with so many needs in their lives, where God will answer their prayers, okay, which is going to be a testimony. They would go in return, okay, in turn they will go and tell the testimony to others. So there is automatic and evangelism taking place, okay. So that's what we want to achieve in the next 5 years. Okay, thank you.
Any questions for the? Yeah, I have two questions. Yes. First is that you already said the corporate their model failed.
Yeah.
That model didn't work. You started. Again, you are redoing the same model. What is the solution that you will not fail the second time?
No, it was, yeah, the point of, let me answer that. We never had a corporate prayer of this magnitude. The suggestion was that all the leaders should come at least once in a month. That did not take place.
That's good.
Yeah.
Exactly my second question.
Yeah.
If it didn't work with 10 people, how are you sure the expert got the back of people? What is the strategy for that?
The strategy is that we will approach the pastors. We'll approach the pastors, tell them it has nothing to do with your church or our church. It is just coming on a common platform just to spend time in prayer. That's all.
Thinking about the realistic part of the smart goal, how realistic it could be to have to see what you're talking about. We are really serious about this
Yeah.
project, right? We really want to do it. Not about the details. I'm just trying to visualize 5,000 people coming for corporate. How achievable is that? Or can we start with a small number and then
5,000 is the target at the end of 5 years. Yeah.
Start with how many?
Starting with 50 people.
That is good.
Yeah, 5,000 in 5 years. Okay.
Please share. No, possibly share because my thought pattern is still in the. I'm in the middle.
Take the mic.
Please share, Corona. No. Please share. That is better.
She's almost crying. Hello. Either.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so our mission statement is transforming minimum 500 lives in 5 years. So we want to specifically focus among the Gen X 15 to 25 years of people group. And we want to reach out to them in a time bound of 5 years. And basically we are targeting schools and educational institutions. So in a month, we are targeting about four educational institutions. And in a year, let's say in 7 months of time in a year, we have 28 educational institutions. And so we want to do this by creating awareness programs in the society and the educational institutions, churches, and families. We want to use social media because young people are very much into social media things. So we want to use social media platforms to create awareness. And we do this also by creating small groups. And after following up with those people where we have created awareness, we want to do a follow-up and then create small groups. And out of those people, we raise trainers and volunteers. And then we create connections with the victims. We take these people, the trainees, and then we not only theoretically teach them, but practically take them to the field and connect them with the victims actually, and see how they are living their lives. And the other thing is to provide safe homes for the victim and probably the children. And there are already existing NGOs in the city that are already working among such people, who are being trafficked. So we are going to collaborate with them, connect with them, and do the work together. We are also going to connect with law and authorities because human trafficking is a crime. And if the law and authorities don't take stringent measures, strict laws, if they don't make, and if they don't take that steps, it'll be very difficult for us to function on our own because we cannot execute laws. They are the one who does that. And so After that, we want to see restoration and holistic development of this victim. So we provide them with skills and jobs. We train them into different skills. And then what we discuss is, one thing is when they come back to the society, it's very difficult for them to adjust with the society because of lots of discrimination against them, social stigma. So we want to reduce, we want to see social stigma getting reduced, and we want to see them restored and accepted into the families and society. So also, because they have lived that life and they have no self-value, self-worth. So we want to see that dignity and self-worth being restored again. And that will work basically with the transformation of the heart by the gospel. And we also influence the law to come up with strict and stringent measures so that the crime rate of human trafficking is reduced considerably. If you have any questions, we are not afraid. Sister Hannah is here to answer all the questions.
Okay, any questions, please? No questions. Thank you so much.
Explainable. Thank you for.
Right, so what we had now is 4 brilliant ideas and 4 brilliant goals, right? So our next step is to execute them all. So I think that is where Movement Day also comes in as a very handy program, because as I said, make it a point that on the Movement Day, you have to commission this to the people. Brother, you are getting a call in your WhatsApp. Right, so I remember last time when I'm here.
Since we are already working on this post-movement day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you how we are going to do that. So, Movement Day is all about connecting with one another, right? That is what we are going to gather them all. And then celebrating what God is doing in our cities. So, that's where a lot of presentations are going to be. And then collaborating with one another. That is where churches, NGOs, and marketplace leaders are going to come together and work. And catalyze the city. So the Movement Day is a catalytic event, as I said. It is not about just understanding what we are going to do, but we are also sharing the same visions, whatever we discussed right now, with a bigger audience. Say on the day, 200 leaders are going to be there. We are going to be inviting leaders of various churches, various organizations, and various businesses, professionals, and different people, NGOs. So we are going to share this with them and also commission the entire city to work towards it. So that is what Movement Day is all about, the day. So we have already come up with a wonderful program schedule. We have 4 major categories. One is marginalized. The other one is millennials or young, new gen, and movement of churches. And the last one is marketplace. See, I didn't plan anything, right? But I was just observing. It all falls under these 4. Whatever you came up with, I didn't dictate anything to you. I was so wondering how it all came down to this 4. Remember when you talked about the human trafficking? Look at the program schedule. That is also going to talk about human trafficking. So towards the end of the first session, you can very well share this with the entire set of audience, commission them, whatever the goal that you are coming up with right now. And we can commission it with the entire set of people and ask them to join hands with us, right? And then millennials, social media. We are talking about the same, correct? So we can, at the end of the second session, we can talk about the social media addiction, and how we are going to do a project on that, and we can ask for people. Movement of church is prayer, the prayer movement that we are talking about, right? And marketplace, of course, they are talking about drugs. So I can say that in the millennials, drug addiction can be part, and you are talking about creating entrepreneurs. So I think marketplace, it's all about talking about entrepreneurs and professionals. So we can bring it under this. So I was just mentally mapping this. It all came up really well, right? Praise God. Yeah. Yeah, all season, all years. All seasons. Right. So it actually comes up really well. Praise God that He is guiding us this way. So the four things. So we can. I'm just telling that human trafficking can be here. In millennials, drug addiction can be focused. In movement of churches, prayer movement can be focused. In marketplace, business development or businesses development, entrepreneurship development. What's from social media addiction to entrepreneurship? Yeah, yeah. So that could be our focus, and commissioning the people, the leaders to gather there to join hands with us. As we are sharing, now you know that when you put a point in front of the group, they will share us a lot of information, right? And that is going to be our strength. We are going to take input from everyone. Of course, there are a lot of there is always something called you have to always, after planning, you have to always come up with something called pace, right? P is for planning, A is for act. Now, once you have done a plan, act on this, right? And then check whether it is working out or not. Sometimes we might have got with unrealistic ideas. Only the ground will tell whether it is realistic or not. So check and then execute. Right? So plan, act, check, and execute. So once you start doing this again and again, every time, every year you plan, every year you act, every year you check. Check means you have to have a review process. How is it going on? What are the things that is going well? What are things can be done better? Right? And then execute. So this will be giving us a lot of idea. So, so the four focus points, Brother Joshua, this is what I was also telling the group. As few of us are only here, we can convene a meeting for the bigger group, who is part of the movement Siliguri, the organizing team, and the four teams, those who have prepared, please come up with a presentation on the day. The same idea, not necessarily to be a different one. It should be the same one. Just put whatever you have written there, just put it in the PPT. That's it. Presentation, and share it with the entire group. Each of you, please take around 10 minutes. So that will go for 40 minutes. And the other people can give inputs. And that can be a calling for everyone, saying that now, say, Ruben and team are going to work on the human trafficking. Who are all in this team willing to be part of the team? So remember, the vision, strategy, and the implementation team you will get. Few of them will say that I want to be part of the vision team, I want to be part of the strategy team, I will be part of the implementation team, right? Similarly, prayer movement, you give them a call, so they will join. So now you will have a solid team in hand, and you will have your focus area where you can focus, and the vision team, which is kind of the accountability team, I would call. So we will be having regular reviews, regular ideas, planning sessions again and again with them. So it will get shaped every day. The plan that you have will shape, and when it comes to the execution stage, it will be really nice. Right? And it will create real impact. As we said, the measurable goals that when we are creating, it will create impact. Right? Because you will be started thinking about how to create impact. And that will bring us a lot of good inputs. So any questions, any thoughts from your side on this? So the next step, if we can convene a meeting with the entire larger set of organizing team, so can we fix a meeting date for that?
Weekdays, okay? Weekdays? Yeah. Weekdays, okay. Online, right?
Yeah, this we can have on Zoom. No, or you all can come here. I can come connect on Zoom. That's also fine for me. So convenient, right? Yeah. Yeah,
Nothing like meeting face to face and having.
absolutely.
So, yeah,
So the vision team, yeah, yeah. But the vision team should be there. There cannot be, could be for vision team, right? Because of course you are all owners of this movement, but vision team are the accountable people, I would say. So the vision team should be there, and uh, try to make no, invite all the people as more as possible. It will be like a mini moment day. It is simply is going to be mini moment day, but we'll try to finish it in 1 hour time. Specifically, 4 presentations or 4 goals can be presented, right? And we can take it forward from there. And that will be a good prelude for us before the movement day. And by that time, Brother Joshua, if the program team, the 2 teams which have not given the speakers list, they can also give the speakers list by the day or before that, we can put it all together and share the complete program agenda by that day. So when are we planning to have this meeting? Okay. No, hybrid will not work because it's very difficult to contact people over there and here. If I am the only one connecting from there, that is a different story. But if everybody wants to share opinions, hybrid will not work. We have tried it and it miserably failed many times. Okay. Yeah.
okay, so how many for like online, offline? Offline? Offline. Oh, it's offline.
So fix offline.
Because it starts October 25 is a Monday.
Movement Siliguri. Is it 6 to 7:30? You said.
No.
Ah. Morning? Yeah. 10 to 11:30? Yeah. Will it be possible for everyone to be there? Because people who are working. Yeah. Will it be okay? Great.
You can start any one time.
10. Yeah.
Yes, that's also good. Thank you.
We are recording all this.
And people who have,
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, I'm recording.
yeah. The group that we have formed.
It need to be added more. That's why we can share it with the
This group was randomly picked.
Ah.
And not to people.
right.
So it may not be relevant to any one of the members. We can stop it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You'll have the liberty to do that. You can commit to any of the four. Probably if one person can take be a custodian of every single project. Yeah. That's brilliant. No, that was one of the things that I was also trying to say. You know, once the movement has started picking up, you will, as I was talking about the managing phase, you might need an administrator to take care of it, because there will be a lot of calls, a lot of coordination need to be done. You need to constantly think about who's going to be a kind of a administrative person to, because there are a lot of mails need to be sent, a lot of uh, project reports, reviews to be collected, testimonies, prayer points. It's going to be a lot. So you also need to think about.
And also on the advertisement of the users there. And also take out some time to think that orientation and maintain.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that is very simple. Yeah, I can teach.
How much time it take?
I can do it now. Yeah, we'll do it now. Yeah. So if there is nothing else, then I can show you the Menti.
Yeah. You want LCD connected? LCD?
Yeah. Not sure. Yeah.
Please open the link at the same.
Yeah. So you might have received the link from menti.com. I'll just. Yeah, that's a question. That's why I just created it today. So I'll demonstrate how does this Menti works.
Okay.
Yeah, both ways. See, this is a Menti. Now what happens is, on a program like this, we can just share the link with everyone who is present there, right? And if they just click onto the link, there will be some questions. It can be in the form of questions, it can be in the form of quiz, or it can be in the form of feedback. It can be either way. I'll just show you another one as well, which is a quiz. So if everybody logs into that, from their place they can share their opinions. They'll be asking me question: how many of you are willing to be part of the marginalized group? It's very hard from 200 people to get a response with their raising hand and it can't count. Rather, if you just use this, you can find out okay, 50 people are ready to do that, right? And you can say, okay, please 50 of you please come and sign this sheet. Yeah, it's an open book. Yeah. No, this I created as a word cloud. So I'll show you the next one will be having an option. Can you all enter in? Have you all clicked the link? Yeah. Yeah, you can respond to the first question. What do you want for lunch? I'm seeing only 5 people there.
Only 5 people.
Yeah.
No.
See in the bottom, you can see how many people have joined. It shows 5 in the lowest corner. It's not very clear on the screen, but it shows 5. That means 5. Yes. 5 people are joined. What happens is, if 2 of say there are 5 people who responded, but I think 2 or 3 have responded 4 twice. That's the reason the 4 twice is bigger itself. Majority have opted for that. That's fine. Okay. The answer is different words says different, but naturally, yeah. Now 7 people have joined. So this is a typical way of taking poll from everyone. It's very simple. It is as a link called Mentimeter, mentimeter.com. Go and put a presentation. Free, we can use up to 5 presentations. 5 presentations. The questions will be I don't buy it with a small charge, but we have a so we can yes. Absolutely. See, we will start with some interesting questions like this. Let's say engage the audience. So say every 3 hours a long session for them. So at the end of every session, we can have this say who shared about this particular point. That this approach is something like that we can plan. So, of course, the program team I can also train the program team how to use this MC and the people who are responsible for the program. Yeah, so MC can. Yeah, so anybody can create.
You need to sign up or
No. Yeah, you need to sign up for it. Where's the sign? If I feel that this is finished and we are going to the next question.
How do you know that this is finished?
No, typically you can have time.
Time.
Yeah. So you can say that after say 2 minutes I'm going to. So this is like quiz. What are the 4 M's of moment Siliguri? Something like a quiz. So you can see on your screen the questions there, and you can choose the right answer. Can you see that as 4 of you have answered, it shows that.
But we can hide it and after the.
Yeah, we can do it. So there is something called a quiz option, where if you have 10 quiz questions, it will even show on the spot who's the leader. While fast, how quick the answer. Fastest will have the right points. So now what we do is we say we are going to have 10 questions for fighting rate, right? And whoever answers first will get a present. And later we will say. So you can say something like this to make people very attentive to what we have. So out of 9 people, 7 have answered number 1, 1 has answered second, and the 1 has answered third. So
Yeah, we have more than 9.
but only 9 is connected. Not all of them. So this is the mentee. We use it. Yeah, you can use it in your church, you can use it in other workshops. But I will charge separately for this. Okay, so can you see? Right, so you have to go to the website called mentimeter.com. MENTI, the one on the cover. Can you see that? Mentimeter.com. And you have to sign up. I have already signed up, logged in. Just need to enter your user ID and password, right? And you can go to My Presentations. When you click My Presentation, it will take you through a lot of presentations. That as a free account, you can have up to 5 presentations, right? So you click New Presentation. So you're creating a new presentation. Just give a name, that it is movement, Siliguri, presentation I'm creating. Yeah, you need to sign up. But you don't have to do it now. I'm just teaching. You can learn and do it whenever it's possible. Right. So typically we need to understand these parts, the type, content, and customize. Right? Yeah, that's an app. Yeah. So you can go to the type and say on the bottom you have popular question types, multiple choice, word cloud. Word cloud is the one I created now. Every word that you come, it will create a cloud, and then open-ended questions. It comes like whatever you enter as a statement, your opinions that will come, right? And then you have scales. That means if you have say 3 different and say which is more important for you, they can choose scale, which is more important for me. And then ranking, similarly rank they can give, and Q&A if they want to ask, if you want to ask their opinion on something, right? And here is a quiz where it shows you have 3 options. So, for example, the first question is, huh? No, that was a multiple choice. So this is a quiz. I'll show you what is the difference. Say in quiz, I'll say is pork added with rice. The answer can be yes, no, I don't know. And you say that option yes is the correct answer, right here. So now this is how we have created a question quiz. So you can just like that you can create up to 10 questions in quiz, and you click share. If you know the share button, it will show you the link. So this is the link I shared with all of you. So I will be the presenter. You'll all be people who are participating in the presentation. So if I click copy link and share it with all of you, you all can access the link, right? Now what I do, I'll go to present with this quiz. So it tells you that waiting for players, right? If players joined, it will tell you that answer fast to get more. These are all things that you can see on your mobile. So it will give you exactly some time, 15 seconds that you can set. I'll show you where to set. So here it gives 20 seconds. So whoever answers yes, no, or I don't know, based on the quick response, it will show who is a quick answerer or slow answerer. Time is up. That means people might have responded by now. Okay. So whoever answered yes will take those points as well, their points alone, and it will show you. This is something called a leaderboard. Immediately it will show on the screen that who has answered the right answer with the quickest response on the top.
Their number will
No. They all will join with the name, nickname, or their own name.